think we're all set. I think. Is the frequency in use? All righty. Good evening. My name is Paul, K4PEW at the Mount Juliet Simplex Radio Net. Is there any emergency or priority traffic? All righty. Never is. If you have any emergencies, call 911. If you can't do that, or you want to talk to us while you wait for 911, you can do that too. But we'll be able to help you if we can. Maybe just talk you down. And that may be broken at any time for an emergency. For information on this, you can see me right now and hear the net right now on YouTube, which is on Brain Trusts. You can look that up in the search block, BRAINTRUSTS, or my call, Kilo 4 Papa Echo Whiskey. Just look that up, K4PEW in the search block. It'll bring you right up, and you'll be able to hear the net. You can hear what you sound like. You can see what you sound like with the meter just staring right at you. Or you can look on our look on our website, which is 146415.net. You can look there, see some information on Simplex and our net, and you can also look us up on Yahoo Groups at MJ_SS. That's MJ, Michael Juliet _ Sierra. Or you can send me an email at K4PEW@ARRL.net. We normally at 8 p.m. every Wednesday and Saturday nights. And as our normal practice, we're on 146.415 FM Simplex. The purpose of the net is to have fun, get to know other people. It's ham radio fun, getting everybody to help get their stations up to speed so everybody can figure out who they can hear, who they can't hear, and try to figure out why. We invite everyone to use the net to announce amateur radio events and all that other stuff in support of the local ham community and the community in general. I'll go with the big announcements, of course, will be Tuesday. There's two nets, one in Bowling Green, which is a Simplex net, and then there's the W4EAO, that's the Wilson County Emergency Office of Administration Office, whatever that stands for. Yeah, excuse me on that phone. Going there and checking in on me there. That's on Tuesday night, and I'll send out an email on both of those. The Bowling Green net on 146.430 at 7:30, and then at 8:30 is the Wilson County Emergency Preparedness net at 8:30, and that is on WLYR repeater. Again, I'll send out a reminder on that. If you have any questions, just look up the LYR repeater. Don't have it written down here. All right, somebody needs to take off something here to make that noise go away on your radio. So what else we got? Is there any other announcements? All right, no other announcements. We had a good breakfast this morning. That's another big announcement I had. We said big. We had 7 people there, so I didn't expect big guns there today, being it's a holiday weekend and people had plans. And the rest of us losers who didn't have plans showed up for breakfast, which was nice. So 7 people, it's kind of cozy, had a good conversation and talked about all kinds of other things. So if you can, there's two breakfasts next month, the 2nd and 4th Saturdays of the month. 2nd and 4th. Again, I don't have another calendar up in front of me, but it's the 2nd and 4th. You can mark it down that way, and I'll be sending out reminders. Does anybody have any questions or answers, for that matter, about any other future endeavors in ham radio? Nothing heard, and we'll start taking check-ins. We'll be starting from the north today, north of Mount Juliet Road, and north of Lebanon Road. Please come in.
KJ4 GMR and KJ4 HMZ.
All right, KJ4 GMR. How you doing, Ray?
Another day in paradise.
Yeah, I think it is. It was a pretty nice day today. A little warm, but we'll live.
Yeah, well, I thought I was going to have some bad news and found the good news out, so I'm pretty happy about today.
It's always good to get good news, whatever it was.
I thought I had a transmission going haywire with me. Come find out a boat come out of the carabiner.
What was that on your big truck?
Yeah, on my rollback.
That would be a little expensive if it was going bad, wouldn't it?
About $2,000 for a transmission.
I think it's $2,000 to fix any transmission, isn't it?
But I know how to do it, so you know.
Well, there you go. I don't, so I'll have to bring it up to you.
It's on automatics, but I am the standard shift.
Yeah, I got you. Well, very good. How's is everything else good with you?
Yeah, daughter just got out of the hospital. She had hip surgery, blah blah blah. You know, had all the aches and monkeys mixed around here today. So, or for the last 3 days, it's been pretty wild.
Yeah, but it's good to have your family around, isn't it?
Not really.
Oh no! Listen, when they're not around, you're gonna go, "Hey, I wish I saw more of them."
Problem, we got them around all the time now. We don't want them around.
No, I got you. Yeah, I understand, but it's not like they don't love you, and it's not like they're not your kin.
You're right about that, but you know, anyway, it's I missed a couple, three of them. I got one that got all crazy and decided he'd go to Michigan, and I think he wished he hadn't. I got one finishing up in college, and you know that's gonna. I should be back here in December, and I'll be tickled with that. I got one that I moved in with an old boy. He ain't worth 15 cents. So what do you say? Just move on.
Yeah, I got you. Well, as long as they do something with that college degree, that's good.
Well, yeah, she's gonna do her. Hey, she's a sharp girl. I mean, I've been tickled to death with her all the way down through. We kind of watched after her. If she got into trouble, we tried to help her.
Yeah, that's what parents are for, ain't it?
Grandparents.
That's right. That is very good. All right, very good. Good to have you in there, Ray. Not Ray. Yeah, I'm sorry. It's good to have you in there. And that was KJ4 GMR and KJ4. It is Hotel November Zulu, is it not?
Victor.
Victor is the last one. Okay, HMV, not Z. All right, very good. Good to have you in there. That was Zoe, his better half, that KJ4 Hotel November Victor. That is correct on the Hotel November Victor, right?
Yes, sir. And it is Ray. It ain't, that's my name. I mean, Jackie's on my license, but it's Jackie Ray.
No, I got you. I just when I said it for some reason it didn't sound right to me, and so I stuttered on it. So sorry about that. Well, anyway, good to have you both in there. Hope everything continues to go well for you. Who else is north of Mount Juliet? Anybody else north of Lebanon Road? Hey, there you go, Steve. You doing all right?
Yes, sir. Been working all day. My weekend in the barrel. So if I give you another number and before I had to go upstairs and get ready for bed.
All right. Well, you give me another number, and I'm sure you put in a hard day's work. No overtime today?
Today is my overtime day, and then tomorrow starts next week.
I got you. Yep. I don't envy you. I'm kind of glad I don't work anymore, and I'm glad I don't have to work hard anymore.
I understand that.
Well, time flies pretty good when you're retired, let me tell you.
I'll have a Hamfest flyer that I'll send to you through the email eventually, because there's going to be $1,000 gift certificate given away by Ham Radio Outlet.
Which Hamfest is that going to be at?
The Bowling Green Hamfest.
And that's not till, when is that? That's not till next year, isn't it?
No, it's in October. I think October, the first Saturday in October.
Oh, well, I may have to make it to that one.
I'll find the flyer and I'll send it to you.
All righty, sounds good. That was Steve, Kilo 4 Whiskey Kilo Uniform. He's just a little bit north of Bowling Green, and I guess we did have a minor announcement there. There's a Bowling Green Hamfest coming up in, I believe it's, I think you said it was October. Is that what you said, Steve?
Yeah.
So you could probably look that up on the Hamfest calendar, I imagine. But anyway, we'll put out that information when we get it. Good to have you in there, Steve. Again, Steve from Bowling Green. Kilo 4 Whiskey Kilo Uniform. Who else is out there north of Lebanon Road, north of Mount Juliet?
Appreciate it.
Go ahead, Ray.
I should have told you about Bowling Green and Shepherdsville. Shepherdsville's in September, and then Bowling Green's in October.
All right. You have to tell me where Shepherdsville is, Ray.
To 108, 107, or one, yeah, in Louisville, right just south of Louisville.
Ah, okay. Well, that's a pretty good. That's a Bowling Green's a stretch for some of us, especially the farther south we get. But yeah, I don't know how many people. How many people make it down up to the Shepherdsville?
A few. We go. Me, Herbie, and my wife, and there's quite a few people show up.
It is a pretty good crowd up there.
Yeah, it's a pretty good crowd.
All right. Well, very good. Appreciate you saying that. I'll have to look that one up as well. All right. Thanks, Ray, and thank you, Steve. Who else we got north of Lebanon Road? All righty. West of Mount Juliet. West of Mount Juliet Road.
10-4, TJF.
Hey, how are you doing, Rick?
I'm doing really, really good, man. How are you, Paul?
I'm doing all right. You didn't make any changes to your station, did you?
No, I haven't made any changes. Sorry I missed the breakfast this morning, though, but I had some things to do. Getting ready for my daughter's wedding next Saturday. And like I say, I'm sorry I missed it, but you got to do what you got to do.
Oh, well, this just gave Michael an opportunity, your brother, that is, to complain about you. That's all.
Yeah, I figured he needed some time, time, time away from me so he can get some more punches in there.
No, I don't think he's going to do that. I don't think you're going to do that either.
Anyway, like I say, man, no, I haven't made any changes. Why I sound different?
No, I just wondered. If you had made any big changes or modifications or upgraded or downgraded, or things are always changing. No, your signal's good. You're up at normal levels there.
Okay, great. Yeah, no, like I say, next Saturday is my daughter's wedding, so right now my money's like really tight.
Well, it's really good of you not to schedule the wedding on a Simplex and breakfast day.
That's true. See, I thought of everything. I'll be at the next one.
All right. Sounds good. The second and the fourth Saturday of the month. We did an oddity today because today was the fifth Saturday and we skipped one due to that Ham Fest a week ago.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, it was fun. All right, very good, Rick. Good to have you in there. That's Rick, Kilo November 4, Tango, Juliet, Foxtrot, and he's over in Ashland City. Good signal from Ashland City, which is a good 35, 40 miles from me, west. Who else west, please come in?
KB4 RSM.
KD4. Is that RSM, like in Mike, or N as in Nancy?
KB4 RSM. This is Glenn, Paul.
Oh, okay, very good. I'll get that name. I'll get that call straight in my brain one time here. Sometimes takes me a while.
Yeah, I'm actually in East Nashville this evening.
Ah, okay, very good. How far east? How far east are you in Nashville? I was wondering if you were in the line of fire over there in East Nashville.
Right around Ellington Parkway and Trinity Lane.
Ah, okay, very good. I know about where that is. I don't know the area real well, but I have been over there. Well, very good. How are you doing tonight, Glenn?
Doing good. Here at a little maker space, we're doing some microcontroller Arduino projects, and we have a little maker space here that we meet every other week and work on some projects with the kids. So I've set up a radio here and just thought I'd check in.
Ah, sounds good. Yeah, and how old are the kids?
Well, I call them kids. They're basically, I guess, teenagers and a little above. I'd say 15 to 24.
Well, that's a good group. Yeah, they're kids if they're 15, that's for sure. I mean, when I was 15, I was still learning to fix my bicycle.
Yeah, no doubt.
Didn't have a car yet. But anyway, yeah, no, I sometimes think that I don't know, I'm not saying what you're doing is bad, because it's not bad. It's very good that you're getting interested in microcontrollers, those little self-contained little things to figure out how to do programming and how to do setup for whatever you were trying to achieve, with a software and hardware. And sometimes I think we do a disservice by not also teaching other trade skills, whether that's electrical, plumbing, carpentry, all the things that you can get a job at. Because I'm not always sure everybody can get a job in software hardware.
Yeah, I agree with you. Just happens to be I don't personally have a big skill set and all those other things to teach.
Oh no, I wasn't putting a blame on you. Get you. I'm just I'm just saying that I know that it's from what I could tell when I was still working it was harder and harder to find skilled technicians that worked on, for instance, what I worked in was commercial industrial refrigeration, and it was hard to find good people. I mean, it seemed like there was a limited supply in the country who were really skilled and experienced at that.
Yeah, no doubt. I know exactly what you're talking about. We've had similar conversations about that ourselves.
Yeah, I'm sure. Well, very good, Glenn. And Glenn's in East Nashville tonight. He's working with some young people on doing Arduino project. It was Arduino, and you say you were also using the other processor, the other hardware as well?
Well, we're mainly an Arduino place, but we do other microcontrollers also. It just depends. We just focus there.
Okay, well, you got to stay with one thing at least for generate interest in other stuff as well.
Right. Yeah. We do some Raspberry Pi stuff and other controllers. I mean, there's handfuls of them now. I mean, there's a lot of them.
Yeah. Well, I was surprised when I got my hands on a Raspberry a couple years ago, and got it all together and put the software in it and put it together. And here's this little two-inch square thingy, and I'm on the network and I'm operating. It's giving me a digital. I can hook it up to a screen, and I'm using the internet. Now it's a little slow, I'll grant you that, but it's amazing to me that I can have a whole PC in a little tiny box the size of a matchbox.
Yeah, no doubt, because it actually is its own whole computer. The Arduino that we mess with a lot is basically just a microcontroller, and it doesn't have all the video out and keyboard in and stuff that the Raspberry Pi has, where you can actually just use it as a whole computer or a web server or all types of different things. But they're pretty interesting and just trying to keep some interest in electronics.
Oh no, I understand. I kind of wish we didn't have anything like that when I was young. Nothing like that. All the computers were the size of a house.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, I'm not gonna hold you here, but we had an interesting project where we put together some stuff with them, and we've displayed at the science museum, and so we've been doing this now, I guess, a few years, and we've had a lot of fun with it.
Oh no, I'm sure you are. Yeah, the fun is watching kids get interested in actually moving forward with the knowledge and experience to do something else.
Absolutely. Well, good talking to you again tonight, Paul. I'll let you get on with it, and as usual, great signal. So you're sounding good.
All right, very good. That was Glenn, Kilo Bravo 4, Romeo Sierra Mike, and he's over in East Nashville tonight. He's normally not over in East Nashville, but a good signal here from East Nashville. He's working with some young people with some Arduino projects. Anybody else? Wes, please come in. Hold on, I got first. I got Jeff in there.
Hey, good evening, Paul, and WY4G. It sounds like you're a little busy tonight, but not much going on here.
Well, he isn't. I'm just glad. I'm sure you are. I know I always was when I was working. I was happy for a slow, doing nothing weekend. That was I was happy about it.
Yeah, well, I got released to go back to work on the 9th, so I'm feeling a little better. Still sore in my gut, which is to be expected, but it's progressively getting better.
Oh yeah, I know when I had that minor surgery, I say minor, it was a little more major for me than it was for you with that gallbladder, as I mentioned before. But it took me, well, I'll just say this: it takes longer than you think it does to recover from something, even though it seems minor. When there's open, when they're going into your abdomen.
Yeah, well, the older you get, the longer it takes to recover. It took me 6 months to get back from bypass surgery. I had to before I could go back to work. But the first couple of months, kind of rough on that one.
Oh, I'll bet it was. Man, I wouldn't even want it. I don't know. How did it feel your first week back at work? Was it good or bad after that 6 months?
It's pretty good. I was ready to go back. It was just one of these things where I just like the term chomping at the bit. I was kind of anxious to get back to work.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's good to feel productive. That's the one thing I miss about working for a living. Is you don't feel as productive when you're retired. Well, very good, Jeff. That's Jeff. He's in Madison. Good signal. Ready to go back to work after minor surgery. That's Whiskey Yankee 4 Golf. Great signal. Good to have you in there, Jeff. Anybody else? Wes, please come in.
KM4YRF.
Yeah. I told him we didn't say nothing bad about Rick.
Good job, Paul.
You doing all right? You make it through the lawn mowing project okay?
Yes, I did. Got it done in record time.
Yeah, well, it wasn't raining and it was sunny and boy, it was pretty hot by the time you got out there, wasn't it?
Well, actually, most of what I mow is in the shade, so it wasn't bad at all.
Oh, man, really? Mostly in the shade? Must be a very treed lot or something.
Oh, it is. It's tons of trees, and there's one spot that's real sunny, and it takes about 15 or 20 minutes to get that spot done, and then the rest of it is easy.
Yeah, well, it must take you a couple, 2 hours, 2.5 hours?
Yeah, it takes about 2.5 hours to cut. Then after that comes the bad part, having the weeding.
Yeah. I have the same thing, and I don't have 2.5. I don't have 4 acres to do. So yeah, weed eating is the hard part for me too. It's unless he had a riding weed eater.
Oh, now that's something we need real bad.
How about I just hire somebody to do it? Nah, I'm not going to do that. All right, Michael, good to have you in there. Michael's in Belshire. Kilo Mike 4 Yankee Romeo Foxtrot. Who is next west of Mount Juliet? Please come in.
KG4 CXE.
Hello, Chris.
How's it going, Paul?
It is going reasonably well. We were talking earlier. I forget what they were saying. We were talking about briefly at the breakfast. We talked about how one of those nets had like 100 people on it. I think it was the one in Franklin. And I said, and one of the guys said, "Man, it would be on the air if we had 100 to be on the air for 4 hours." I said, "No." You check in. I say, "Shut up." Next.
Yeah, no kidding, man. That's crazy. Which one? I have never heard one other than M Tiers that was close to 100.
Yeah, M Tiers is up there. You're right. That's another one that's very, very busy. But I think it's I don't think it's called. It's a Williamson County Emergency Preparedness stuff. Isn't that what somebody said? Michael, isn't that what that is?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's the Williamson County. When is that?
Monday night at 7.
Monday at 7, and spare yourself a couple hours.
Well, actually, last week we went through about 90 in 40 minutes.
Okay, so it moves along pretty good.
So which frequency is that on? That's on 145.210. Okay, cool. I think I probably got that. That's a repeater, right? Yeah, that's the WC4 EOC repeater. I think I've got that one on the memory on this radio. I just, I hear it when people jump on there, and that's kind of it. It keeps on scanning by. So yeah, I was on the 9-1 machine listening in this morning. I cut it on. And there was a guy listening or talking about the net, or sorry, not the net, but breakfast. He was like, "Yeah, I think there's a breakfast this morning," and I started thinking about the date, so I go to the website and I'm looking. It says the 2nd and the 4th. I'm like, okay, well this is the 5th, so I'm not missing out on anything. Turns out I did.
Are you not on the mailing list?
I'm not on the mailing list. I need to get on it. I was thinking about that because you said something. You had sent something out, and I was like, yeah, I'm not catching those informations either. But
yeah, no, I had sent out a reminder message on Thursday or Friday, I forget which, and then I sent another one out this morning early, before the breakfast, in case anybody missed the other one. But no, it's it's a good. It's the 2nd and 4th always, and yet today was an oddity because it's a 5-week month. So I said, hey, it's still 2 weeks away to the next one. So since we missed one due to the Hamfest over at Cedars 11, we did this one.
Yeah, something told me that too. That's why I was kind of second guessing myself, but I had a bit of a sinus headache. I was outside all day on Friday, and my sinuses were actually giving me a little bit of payback for doing that to them. So I dealt with that this morning, and then been a pretty slow day, but nice long weekend, and hope everyone's doing well.
Yeah, I can't believe they're gossiping about us over on the it was on which repeater now? On the what do you call it? The which one is it?
they call it the short mountain repeater. It was 9-1, and it was more on the lines of the guy was out looking for something to do, and I think I was on at 7 in the morning. I woke up at 5 with a headache, so I was like, okay, well, let's start the coffee, take a shower, and get it going. And so I think he was interested in showing up today, and he was trying to figure out, was the breakfast today.
Yeah, it might have been somebody that showed up, because there are people who show up on those repeaters besides here. It's not like nobody's limited. Nobody's limited to this frequency.
No, and the neat thing was the guy that he was talking to he said he doesn't talk 2 meters often, but he knew about the group, and he said, "Oh yeah, that's Paul's group over there on 415 and all that stuff." So there's knowledge of it, and it's being spread around, so that's pretty cool.
Oh no, it is cool, and I like to think of it as our group. It's not really mine. I just happened to pick the frequency, and I was in a perfect position to do the net, and it's just like I said, I think in the world of bureaucracy, I'm called the facilitator. And I'm just happy because the net by myself is worthless. It's everybody else who shows up that makes the net worthwhile.
Yeah, I agree. The contribution, but you pushed the snowball down the hill, right? And it's gained momentum. So now it's kind of got your name tagged on it in roughly.
Yeah, I know. If you notice, I don't really try to draw too much attention to myself. You might ask me to do something else.
Hey, I get that, man. Less responsibility, the better, right?
Well, I learned something in the military. I was don't volunteer for nothing, but what did I volunteer for? Put together a net.
Well, I think that keeps you busy, and it's something to do. You know what I'm saying? I think that's probably why you had the interest to start that, is because you wanted to host the net on the radio, and here we are.
No, technically, the simple answer to that question is, why did Paul start the net? I wanted somebody to talk to locally. Simplex. Really, it boils down to that answer.
Yeah, and speaking of Simplex, I was listening to the guys today. They said the propagation was killer, and they were talking great distances.
Wow. Yeah, I've been just goofing off, doing nothing with the radio or nothing. Just thinking about it. That's not much work. Remember the definition of work, don't you?
No, I don't. Go ahead and tell me.
It's moving matter around on the face of the earth relative to other matter.
So we're always working.
Well, sometimes I do it. It's that with our bodies. Yeah, my heart's still pumping blood usually, and my brain cells are still doing something. I don't know what. Yes, technically there's work being done, but that's what work really is. It's just moving something from one place to another. Ultimately, assembly lines or moving dirt, or it's funny how it gets down to the simplest explanation, just moving stuff around.
Yeah, that's how I was doing it today, moving dirt on the floor, cleaning. All right, man, I'll let you go. It's good talking to you, and hopefully I will be able to make the second Saturday of next month.
No, that'd be great. It'd be good to finally see you eyeball to eyeball. Well, that was Chris, Kilo Golf 4, Charlie X-Ray Echo, and he is in Donaldson. Who else we got? West, please come in.
How about a KD4IAL?
Hey, Harold. How are you doing this evening?
We're doing all right. Been sitting here piddling some with the computer and just winding down for the day.
Well, I'm thankful. That's one of my thankfuls. I'm all thankful for every day is that my computer doesn't give me problems.
Yeah, I hear you there. Well, I was watching a little Netflix, but got bored with it, so I figured, well, let's go see what Google's doing or YouTube, and saw something from you, so I figured, well, I better jump in here.
Yeah, well, very good. Always good to have you in there, Harold. You got a good signal, and I know you're still thrilled about having your computer and your all your gear in one place.
Oh yeah, exactly. By the way, anybody that is watching on YouTube, hit the thumbs up. He can always use those. There's 10 of you watching and 2 thumbs up. KD4IAL.
All right, well, very good, Harold. I just saw something here on the computer, and it's all messed up on my screen here, so I don't know what's going on. This is K4PEW. That was Harold. Kilo Delta 4 India Alpha Lima, and he's over near the airport, Bell Road area. Who else? West, please come in.
Actually, I'm at Harding Place in Tampa Drive. That's kind of being more specific. But anyways, it doesn't matter.
We'll just say Davidson County, doesn't
Yeah, I'm in Davidson County.
No, no, I don't like to pinpoint too much. People can always look you up, Harold. I mean, that's kind of the deal if they got your call.
Oh yeah, well that's easy. Just get on YouTube and look up my call sign.
Yeah, very good. All right, Harold. Again, good to have you in there. Great signal. That was Kilo Delta 4, India Alpha Lima, over Tampa Drive, specifically, if you know where Tampa Drive is. In fact, I think you knew that. I lived in Tampa, Florida for 37 years.
Bet you're happy you're not down there right now.
Oh, believe me, Florida, I never could figure out why anybody wanted to live in Florida. I lived there because I had work, I had a good employment, I had wives and children there, and so I decided at some point I don't want to live there anymore, and that's why I'm in Tennessee.
Well, I understand. All right, let's see if there's some more out there. KD4IA, back at you, Paul.
Yeah, very good, Harold. Who else west of Mount Juliet, please come up?
Whiskey 4, Alpha Whiskey Echo.
All right, John. Are you doing well this evening, I hope?
Yeah, doing real good. Right before the net started, I talked to a Dutch ham who was on a big cargo ship 200 miles east of Wilmington, North Carolina, out in the Atlantic. He was just booming in here.
Well, at this point, you might say he's on the high seas.
Yeah, it's always amazing what a big steel hull on salt water and a 130-foot long wire antenna will do. That's almost an ideal setup.
Oh yeah, when I used to operate a shack that was on the SS American Victory down in Tampa, when we went out into the Gulf, we did these little short hauls from the port out to the Gulf and then back. But tell you what, when we used to get on the air, even when we were sitting at the dock, we were often told we were the loudest station on the air.
Yeah, saltwater is the ultimate ground plane, especially when it's an ocean.
Well, I also used to go down to the docks down there with my mobile and on the car with my little screwdriver, and I worked 10 meters. Now, man, I had a ball doing that over saltwater.
Yeah, it's amazing what people can do QRP, right at the edge of a beach. It really enhances propagation.
Oh yeah. It's unfortunate we don't. Well, I don't know if it's fortunate or unfortunate. We don't have any salt water around here that I know of.
No. Oh, by the way, I wanted to say more power to Glenn and his work with the Maker Faire group. If there's a group that's the future of ham radio, it's those folks.
Yeah, I think you're right. And especially since we're moving forward even quicker into SDR radio.
Yeah, but the whole Arduino thing, I haven't played with it too much, but I've talked to another Glenn Popeil, who's a ham down in Memphis. He's actually written the 2 ARRL books on Arduino projects for ham radio, and an Arduino is really not even a computer, it's just a controller, but it's astonishing what you can do with it. It's really an amazing, that's a great discipline to take something that's simple and be able to do such amazing things with it.
Yeah, I don't know much about the Arduino at all. I just know I've seen the projects, and I never really paid much attention to them because I just haven't taken the time to do it. But yeah, all of that stuff's good. Obviously, it's all good where people are. It's like Captain Kangaroo and his blunt scissors in a shoebox in the current technical world.
Yeah, absolutely. And the good thing about the whole Maker Faire movement is it is really physically hands-on. People are building their own chassis. A lot of them some of the Maker Faire shops have gotten really heavily into metalwork and woodwork. So it's really nice to see that.
Yeah, I would say so too. It is good that there's actual. See, because a lot of kids, I think, at least in what I saw in the past, was they were more interested in, I'd say, building PCs, fixing PCs, and adding things to PCs, accessories, etc., to get gaming or whatever. And I think that's moved into something else now because that's old hat. I think really.
Yeah, I think some of the origins of Maker Faire grew out of the competitive robotics movement, and robots are, that's a really unique, challenging piece of engineering where you're sort of challenged to use every kind of technology, not just computers.
Right. No, I got you. It's more than just PC stuff. Absolutely. Or more working with Microsoft or Linux or whatever. Well, very good, John. Good to have you in there. Good signal as always. That's Whiskey 4 Alpha Whiskey Echo. Is there anybody else? And he's up in over in Bellevue. It's just southwest of Nashville. Who else is out there west? Nobody else west of Mount Juliet. To the south then, south of 40.
KN4MPZ, Yankee Victor.
All right, Larry, you doubled there, but I got Terry in there first in Murfreesboro, KN4 Kilo November for Mike Papa Victor. How you doing, Terry?
Oh, I'm doing good, Paul. Sorry I keyed up with somebody there. I was didn't hear him there, but anyway, we've been busy today. Went up there to Jesse's and got his DX80 OCF antenna dipole. He'd been had laying on the ground for about 2 months, and since he got his general, he hadn't even made his first contact yet. So after the net tonight, he's gonna let me be his first contact. So, but it went real good, and he helped out real good. He was a better helper than I thought he'd be.
Yeah. Well, yeah, don't sell anybody short there. No, that's great. It doesn't work. Those antennas, none of them work well laying on the ground.
Yeah, I hear you. But he just hasn't got around to it. And I think now that he's got it up and able to scan around and listen and all, he'll get the bug, start getting in there, I believe. But we had a good time, enjoyed it, and got it up real nice there. Got him a kind of a V formation going on there a little bit, and we made a contact on it before I left to talk to Salisbury, Maryland, some guy up there. So it's working. So trying to think, there was something else I was going to say, but I'll cut it short because I know you're trying to get everybody in here. So I'll go ahead and clear out and let you have a good. Everybody send me threes. Have a good weekend, Labor Day weekend.
Yeah, very good, Terry. That was Terry Kilo November 4 Mike Papa Victor in Murfreesboro, working with somebody getting an HF antenna up for the first time. And that was with Jesse over there in, I think he's in, let me think. He's in, don't tell me. I forget where he is. Woodbury, that's where he is. Just remember. Anyway, Larry, you're up next. Kilo Echo 4 Sierra Yankee Victor. You doing all right?
Doing fine here, Paul. We'll see. Good afternoon, everybody. Let you get on with it. KU4SYB.
Very good. Good to have you in there. That's Kilo Echo 4 Sierra Yankee Victor. Great signal out of Rockville. That's Larry. Who else? South, please come in.
K1SPD.
Yeah.
Hold on. I got Scott in there first. I don't know who the other person was, but I got Scott. Are you doing any good?
Always. I got to know. I can't see what the rest of your shirt says.
That's the. Could you read that? David, KI4NDN, made that up for me a couple of years ago. It's, of course, it's got the wrong days on it. It says Sunday and Wednesday, which is the way we started.
Oh, that's right. I'm getting confused here. Your voice and the YouTube feed are nowhere near each other right now. All right, we'll carry on. K1SPD.
Yeah, no, it's a neat shirt. I was thankful he made it. I felt bad that we had to change the days, but that's all right. We can always make up more shirts. Well, very good, Scott. You sound great. That was Kilo 1 Sierra Papa Delta, and he is in Laverne. Who else was in there? South.
K4TYJ.
All righty, I got Jim in there from Woodbury. How you doing, Jim?
Pretty good. We just got home. Thought I was going to miss the net, but apparently you started from the northeast or west tonight. So we're happy. Well, I'm happy anyways. I don't know about the other half, but I'm happy I got in here just in time to check in and not be late.
You're doing great. Were you out on the bike or not?
Yeah, we had to go over to a friend's house to celebrate his 60th birthday party, and we was on the bike because Jeep's in the shop still. So the only mode of transportation we have is the Gold Wing or the Valkyrie. So we took the Wing.
Well, just praying for no rain is what you're praying for.
And if it rains, so what? I haven't melted yet for getting wet, so ain't no big deal. And the forecast, the extended forecast up until next week is still no rain.
Yeah, I saw that. It looks like a pretty dry week, and it's not going to cool off until about Thursday.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it could cool off, and it wouldn't hurt my feelings any.
No, I'll live with either way. You know, you take what you get around here. You know, it's like anywhere else. If you don't like it, wait around. It'll change.
Exactly. But it's better than fighting off a hurricane.
Oh, yeah. I guarantee you that's right. All we have to worry about here is tornadoes and maybe an earthquake or two. All right. Well, very good. That was Jim. He's in Woodbury. That's Kilo Echo 4 Tango Yankee Juliet. Was there somebody else in there, Sal?
K4 JBR.
K4 JBR. So I hear you got that antenna up, Jesse.
Yes, sir. I did. I gave Terry a blueprint and told him how I wanted it done, and he went right to the letter. I didn't think he could read a blueprint.
Yeah, you know, some people can't do that. You know that.
Yeah, he has a difficulty. See, I won't get into it. I'll tell you at the breakfast, privately.
All right, very good. Yeah, it's funny. I did that for somebody. I think it was my wife, and I said, no, it looks like this, and I drew a 3-dimensional one-line diagram for something. You know, like I don't remember what it was now. She goes, "You can draw 3D." I go, "Yeah, I've been doing it for 40 years."
Well, yeah, I don't think 3D would have helped Terry at all. I guess if I could draw 3D, it might help. He told me to tell you who that was. That was N3HSK. It was the very first contact that we made. We made it on I think we made it on the 450, I think.
Oh, that was the fellow up there up north?
Yes, sir. Yeah, we Salisbury, Maryland, and he was more familiar. Terry's more familiar with the 450 than he is with the what is this thing? 897. So he was able to tune the guy in and get a real good contact with him, and had a good QSO with him for a minute. And we got some radios around here to mess with.
Ah, very good. Well, I'm glad you did. You're gonna have to get your own now next. Besides, you're gonna call him, but you don't want to count him, do you? For HF content.
Well, strange enough, when I got my general, Terry was my first contact on general, and then I'm gonna break down. I said it makes him feel good. It makes him feel better. So I'm going to contact him, make my first contact with on HF for Terry. I mean, it hits him.
Well, truth be known, I think he puts it in his diary.
Yeah. He's got it there. I might have him put a tattoo on his arm.
Okay, very good, Jesse. Yeah, I have lots of fun with that new antenna, and those off-center fed dipoles work real well. And anyway, have good time with that. You'll have a ball. You really will. And that was Kilo 4 Juliet Bravo Romeo. It's Jesse. He's in Woodbury. Good signal in there, Jesse. And you're using that tram, right? That 17.5-foot tram.
Yes, sir. Yes, I'm operating with that tram now, but I'm going to take it up about 10 to 15 more feet up, Paul. Maybe by next weekend, we're going to get that thing up there. And by the way, we're going to try to slip down on sideband with you when this net is over. I'll get out of here and let you get back with it. Oh, by the way, I did get the email. You're right. It was in the spam folder. K4 JBR, back to the net.
I'm going to make a note of that. I was right once. Very good, Jesse. That was Jesse, Kilo 4, Juliet, Bravo, Romeo. He's in Woodbury. Recently got his general ticket, and just today got up his HF antenna and made their first out-of-state contact, and so they're having a ball. Who else? South, please come in. I think, is that the fellow over in Franklin I heard earlier on the air? Is that Kilo Mike 4, Mike Papa Tango? Say that call again, please.
November 4, Charlie.
Oh, you're out there on the HT, I take it, are you?
Yeah, I heard the home plate. Going to get Larry to relay, man.
No, I got you. Very faint. That's why I didn't know who it was. I heard somebody in there earlier tonight, but it wasn't you. It was somebody in Franklin with a very poor signal to me, but Mike up in Belshire could hear him okay. But yeah, how you doing there? Let's see. This has got to be, let me write that down. It's KN4CCQ, and that's Preston. How you doing?
Yeah, you won't hold it up this morning. I got a new antenna for the HT, and I just wanted to normally you can't hear me at all. Won't hold you up, Paul. 73.
Yeah, very good. That was a stretch for probably most of you. That's Preston over there in Rockvale, Kilo November 4, Charlie, Quebec. And he's on an HT, portable. Who else south, please come in? Nobody else south? Am I moving over to the east? Please come in.
WA4ZHI.
All right, James. Enjoyed seeing you this morning at the breakfast.
Yeah, it was fun. I enjoyed the breakfast snack and the round the table chat group.
Yeah, it was nice. It really was nice. Small groups are nice, but it's also nice to get even more people in there. A little more diversity, as they say.
Yeah, everybody got to jump in.
Yeah, we did. We had a good time. Decent morning breakfast. I'm looking forward to the next one. Everything else going all right for you today?
Yeah, pretty good. I did few little chores after I got home and did a little shopping for my wife. And after that, I just rested the rest of the day.
Yeah, very good. All right. Well, that was James here in Mount Juliet, Whiskey Alpha 4 Zulu Hotel India. Great signal here. He's got an indoor antenna, so he's not always good to everybody. You know, good signal. Who else east of Mount Juliet? Hold on, Jimmy. I had Wes in there first. KE4T. Dang. Isn't that Wes in there? Did I hear you?
You did. I made it in. All right. I'm glad. Everything's good out here in the east.
Okay. In your east, where are you now? Are you home or are you over on the east side? Or you're somewhere else?
Yeah, I'm at home. I'm at home in the eastern part of Wilson County. That's where I've been all day. I just couldn't get up to make it to the breakfast. I'm just working hard all week. But I'll make it next time. KE4TW.
Well, we don't have any rules, so you don't have to show up anyway.
Well, you can dock my pay. I'm all right with that.
Very good. I'll dock you the same amount we docked you last time. All right, that was Wes. He's in down there near Watertown. Kilo Echo 4 Tango Whiskey India. Good signal tonight. I know I got that's what I got. It's got Jimmy in there next. How you doing, Jimmy?
Oh, pretty good, Paul. How's yourself? You doing okay?
I'm doing just dandy. Nice long weekend, and my wife's got a couple of days off, so it's good.
Oh yeah. Well, I can tell you honestly, there's absolutely no news over here. I'm just sitting here watching the grass grow.
Well, as long as it doesn't rain, it slows down quite a bit.
Yeah, that's the one good thing. When it doesn't, when it doesn't rain, it doesn't grow all that much. So I was wondering, I noticed you got on the Simplex T-shirt. Where do you get those?
What's his name? David down in Woodbury. No, he's down in where the heck he is. I'll think of it in a second. Reedyville. He had that made up for me and handed it to me and said, "Here, if this is for you, I can give me 2 of these T-shirts. So maybe we ought to make up some more."
Oh, okay. I didn't realize it was a special deal. Oh, okay. Just wondering. I saw that on the video for the YouTube here. So, alrighty, I'll back it on out and see you later.
All right, very good, Jimmy. That was Kilo November 4 Lima X-Ray Hotel. He is here in Mount Juliet over by the high school, which is up near Lebanon Road. Anybody else east, please come in.
Kilo India 4, Sierra India Bravo. Kilo November 4, Mike Papa Tango.
Hold on, Mike Papa Tango. I had Richard in there first. Missed you this morning, Richard.
Yeah, I didn't have the opportunity to get in bed till about 4:30 this morning because she didn't get home until about 3, and we kind of wound down together. So, yeah, I kind of overslept, but that's not going to happen anymore.
No, I understand. Is she going to stay on that schedule?
Yeah, unfortunately, I mean, it's not unfortunately. We're getting used to it. We're both night owls at heart, so it's not going to be a big stretch, but it's taking some acclimation, but we're going to be all right.
Yes, I'm familiar with that idea. It's a lot easier to do that when you're young than it is when you're older. I'm not saying you're older, but you ain't young no more.
I ain't getting no younger either. No, you're exactly right. It's a little bit easier to deal with when you're a whole lot younger than we are, but do what you got to do and go on with it. I'll let you have it back, and I appreciate what you're doing. Sorry I missed the breakfast, but my heart was there anyway. Talk to you when I can. KI4S, I'll be back to you. Take care. God bless. 73.
Yeah, very good. As long as you didn't feel your ears burning.
Well, that's all right. When they're burning on my ears, they give me some ears a rest.
Well, no, somebody else. Hey, how come Richard's not here? It's like, you're one of the mainstays at the breakfast. That's why.
I wouldn't I let you down, and I'm sorry, but we'll make it up.
All right, very good. That was Richard, Kilo India 4, Sierra India Bravo, and he's over just west of Lebanon. I heard Kilo November 4, Mike Papa Tango in it. Mike Papa Tango?
Kilo November 4, Mike Papa Tango.
Yeah, very good. What's the first name there? I don't remember. What's your first name, please?
The first name here is Campbell.
Okay, Campbell. I don't think I had talked to you before, had I? Campbell, you hadn't been on the net before, had you?
Can you repeat?
Okay, you're not. You're coming in. I can hear you fine, so you're apparently having some difficulty hearing me. I was just saying, I don't think you've been on the net before, had you?
Yeah, I've been on the net before when I was out at Foxwell with the Boy Scouts. When we were using a third party out there, and I was one of the operators helping get third party.
Ah, okay, very good. I thought the call sounded familiar. I just couldn't place where it was because I deal with enough calls that it's not always easy to remember if you're not here every week or so or week or two, But no, glad to have you in there. And today you're over in Franklin. Is that where you live? You live over in Franklin area?
I am over in Franklin. I'm having a hard time hearing you. Right now, so I'm going to let that get back to somebody else. So this is KN4FPT 73.
Very good. That was Campbell, Kilo November 4, Mike Papa Tango, and he's over in Franklin. Little problem with the signal, but I can hear him pretty good, and he wasn't able to hear me real good. I know that there's some other stations that could, because I heard him talking to up in north of Nashville earlier this evening. All right, who else? Where was I? East, please come in. Late check-ins, any place, anywhere, please come in.
WE4E.
Hey, Danny, we were talking about you this morning.
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, it was good. We were just mentioning how big a signal you had over to Mark and me.
Yeah, I can about see your house from here, I think.
Yeah, sure. If I stood on the roof or the top of my chimney, you probably could.
Yeah, something like that. So, yeah, sorry I missed it. It's a bit of a hike for me from over here because the lake and all. But I'm just making excuses. I really just don't want to get up that early.
No, I understand. I hadn't since I've only lived here a short while. I don't know any of the history, but I'm wondering, was there ever? Do you know of ever? I don't know how long. I know you haven't lived here forever either. So, was there ever besides going over to 109 or going over to what do you call it, the expressway over there, Briley? There's no. Oh, there's some other ways too. But there's no direct route. They need to put in a bridge in Mount Juliet to go straight across over to Anderson.
Yeah, you can't get there from here. The two options really is, like you said, you go to 109, come down that way. You can also go down to Rivergate, take Maya Drive and Old Hickory Boulevard, come across like that. That'll get you there. You can go the scenic route if you want to go Briley Parkway to Lebanon Road or to 40. But it kind of doesn't matter. If you're going to go to the middle of Mount Juliet, you know, from where I am, you're in for an hour. Because you just can't get there from here. Once upon a time, there were ferries that ran across the river. We still have some roads up here named after them, and I think you guys do as well. You know, but there were 2, 3 ferries that ran across here back a long time ago, well before me. But no, I don't think there'll be a bridge anytime soon. If for no other reason, then there'll be a really difficult time landing it. I know on the Sumner County side, there's not a whole lot of places you could land it and have it make any kind of sense. And if I remember that part of Mount Juliet, because I mean, I could walk down to the end of the street and see it from here. You can kind of see Nautical Road and thereabouts. There's kind of no place to land it without just bulldozing a bunch of stuff.
Well, plus the fact there would be so much traffic and to be going through both sides of residential areas, no matter where you stick it.
Well, certainly on the, you know, Hendersonville is 2 peninsulas with Drake's Creek going up the middle. And on the East Peninsula, which is where I am, I mean, literally, there's one school and one church, and the rest of the structures down here are all single-family homes. These neighborhoods, the vast majority of which have been in here since I think, you know, my house was built in 1984, and it was among the last of this section. There's one neighborhood a little over. I mean, you know, they've been around here. Some of the lakefront houses, you know, were put in back in the early '60s. You know, so this has been built up for a while now. The West Peninsula is a little more diverse. They've got there's a couple of little random convenience stores that sort of plunk down the middle of things. There's a big park, Saunders Ferry Park, that's at the end of that peninsula, at basically the old ferry landing, more or less. And but there's some apartments and there's townhouses and there's, you know, you go about halfway down on the Drake's Creek side. There's a little mini, almost like a strip mall place. There's a you know, pizza and sub joint, and there's a little bar and some other stuff down there. So. But yeah, you're exactly correct. That's the long-winded version of saying if they're going to land it on one of those 2 peninsulas down on the end, they're going to have to take over some serious land. And yeah, you're going to put a major thoroughfare right through an area that can't support it. Not without a lot of help.
Not without a lot of people complaining about having a road go right through their residential district. It's going to get a lot of traffic.
Oh, without a doubt, it'll definitely go over. Like a turd in a punch bowl. I mean, it would not do well. I know there's a 35-acre tract of land here that was a farm for a long time. It's kind of a little jewel right in the center of this peninsula, and there was a companion piece of land up the top of the hill. It was just sort of the top of a hill is kind of wooded. That some developers have had their eyes on for a while, and the family that owned that sold it to some sort of, you know, land holding company that turned around and sold to a developer, and they wanted to come in, put 105 houses on 35 acres right smack in the middle of this, and the town just blew its stack over that, and they ended up it ended up as a city park. I'll spare you the story behind that, but you can read about that. So yeah, I don't think it would go over very well at all. Not at all.
No, I understand. Nobody likes growth, but everybody likes the tax money it brings.
Well, yeah. I mean, and you guys probably don't follow it as well as we do up here, as closely anyway. You know, the city fathers are out to put a lot of growth into Hendersonville in this part of the city. We've got more neighborhoods, you know, and developments approved. They've got, you know, 660-something houses on a couple of 100 acres off of Saundersville Road that has no infrastructure to support it. There's, I don't know how many units they want to put in, kind of between the Walmart and the Lowe's. There's neighborhoods on the peninsula where I live that aren't built out all the way and haven't been. They've been in existence for 10 odd years. So, I mean, you know, they're trying to capitalize, I guess, on the explosive growth of the Nashville area, but they're
they're fastly turning us into some combination of Cool Springs and Atlanta.
Oh yeah, no, I know. I used to joke about it in Florida that we used to, our competitor for stuff was St. Petersburg, and St. Petersburg wanted to be Tampa, and Tampa wanted to be Miami, and Miami wanted to be Atlanta.
Oof, yeah, and it's all just a big hot steaming mess.
Yes, it is. Well, the growth will kill you. I watched it happen in Florida, and I'm seeing it happen here, and it's not fun to watch, really. The pressures that come to bear on the infrastructure, as you say, are just they're a pain. I see them as a pain here in Mount Juliet because it's very, very busy here on that main road in Mount Juliet, the big, 171. Well, all right. Well, very good, Danny. That's Danny. Whiskey Echo 4 Echo. Of course, a great signal from across the river. We don't need a ferry to get across the river with the signal. Whiskey Echo 4 Echo. And who else? Anybody else late check-ins?
Katie 4 OEM.
Hey, Mary. How are you?
I'm doing great. How about yourself, Paul?
I don't know. If I felt any better, I'd have to give somebody else some of my stuff.
That's a good one. Oh, goodness. Your fever's just about gone.
Oh yeah, all that's left is the red pock marks that are slowly healing, and they are something.
Well, that's awesome to hear. And your little doggy that you just rescued, is Shug doing okay?
Well, I think she's actually feeling her oats now that she's lost just a little bit of weight, and I don't know whether it's that or she's feeling more comfortable with us, but she's following the pack, so to speak. She's getting used to the other 4 dogs, and she just goes running at her little as fast as her little leg will take her down the hall, and now she's going up and down the stairs into the backyard. There's only 3 steps, but now she's just moving around great. She's having a ball.
That's such a good story to hear. I'm so happy for you guys, and I know the other dogs enjoy playing with it too.
Well, yeah, no, she's getting, like I said, she's getting acclimated. It's funny, she already has habits that are, these little habits that are so funny. Like a lot of dogs, they'll be happy to sleep. If they like, some of them, they jump up on the furniture and they sleep there. Well, she can't do that, but she likes to be up, and she'll tell you. And I didn't realize what she wanted at first, but she comes up and she just looks at me and she barks with this really loud yelp. And I look down, and so I picked her up and I put her up on the step stool, and she gets up there, she'll go to sleep, or on the sofa, so just sleep there and just lay there, happy as, oh my gosh, she's just thrilled to be up higher than the ground for some reason. She likes it.
She's almost touching it.
Well, no, she's really a sweet dog. I mean, couldn't ask for. I'll have to get a video out of her running around like a nut. She's just a sweet dog and gets along with the other dogs and gets along with us. So can't ask for more than that. Well, very good. How's Marty doing?
He's doing great. He's right here beside me. I'll pass the mic over to him, and all of you have a good evening and a good holiday.
Yeah, very good, Mary. Good to have you in there. Marty, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing just fine. This year,
Terrible, Bob.
yeah, I'm watching the Tennessee ball game today, and that's no good.
I caught a part of that. How did Tennessee end up?
38-30.
Oh, boy, that stinks. And that was the final?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's too bad. Well, were they supposed to have a really great team this year?
No, not. I'd say mediocre. You'll win a bunch, but it's not started off. It's the first game.
Well, there's only 11 more maybe.
Yeah, about 11 or 12, something like that.
Yeah, I got you. Well, very good. Good to have you in there, Marty. Good to have you in there, Mary. And that was Kilo Delta 4 Oscar Echo November and Kilo Delta 4 Bravo Quebec Kilo, commiserating about a Tennessee football loss on their first game, which is good. But there's more games in a season than one. So who else? I was watching soccer today, one of the things I rarely get to do. Who else is out there late check-ins? Before we move on to, we got the BSSS net and we got the sideband net coming up. So who else next? Any late check-ins, lollygaggers, lurkers, sandbaggers, SDR donglers, of which I am now one, as well as the preppers and the end-time survivors. Well, very good. We wrapped up with 25, and I'll move right along. Does anybody have anything they want to sell tonight? Anything people want to buy? All right, then we'll move along to the sideband net, which is on 144.240. I'm going to close out this portion of the net and move right along to that because we're already an hour and 4 minutes into the net. So 144.240 upper sideband. Look forward to seeing you there, and I appreciate all the 25 check-ins. I didn't expect it to be that big on a holiday weekend, but it was. All right, have a good night, guys, and who those who aren't going to be on the 240, 144.240, good night, 73, and I'm over there in a minute. This is Kilo 4 Papa Echo Whiskey with the Mount Juliet upper sideband net on 144.240. Who's there from the, we're going to start, where do we start the other one? We'll start from the north again. Anybody north of Mount Juliet on sideband? Anybody west on sideband?
Whiskey 4, Alpha Whiskey Echo.
Ah, very good. You sound fine. I didn't tell you I got my I sent my 897 out, and that display board, which I asked them to replace, was $183.
How long have you had that radio?
15 years.
Yeah, I think I would keep it alive just because it's been a good old radio.
Well, that's why I did it. I figure it's cheaper than buying a new radio.
Yeah, ICOM just announced a pretty amazing little portable radio on YouTube today. I forget the number of it. It might just be an IC705, but it looks just like the front panel of a 7300, but weighs 1 kilo and has 10 watts output and built-in lithium-ion batteries.
Huh. I guess you know who's talking them into all that crap is the people who make amplifiers.
Yeah, this one is 2 meter and 440 as well.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I'll have to look that up. Have they already announced it?
Well, it's just a prototype, so it'll probably be maybe a year or so.
Okay, very good. All right, very good, John. Who else we got west? Anybody else west? You know, Michael didn't pick up his radio this weekend, did he, John?
I'm expecting to hear from him and see him sometime this weekend.
Okay, very good. He said something. I didn't remember if he was picking it up this weekend or he did pick it up this weekend or what. So, all right, very good. Anybody else west, please come down. Everybody south, please come down.
Kilo November 4, Mike Papa Victor.
Hey, there you go. You got power and you got antenna. And you're doing fine, Terry.
Okay, man. Well, that's a good deal. Well, I appreciate the good words there. You're sounding real. Get about a 7 or 8. I get about an 8 on you right over here.
Yeah, that's the same thing I've got on you as an 8 signal. All right, who else we got south? Thanks, Terry. Who else we got south?
K4 KBR.
Hey, Jesse's in there. Sounds good, Jesse. You on that 897?
Yes, sir. I'm on the 897 right now. And you got an S7 on me. You sound pretty strong.
Yeah, very good. You're pretty good. You're in there at about an S6. I think I saw that last transmission. All right, let me move on. Who else, South?
K1 SPD.
K1 SPD. Very good, Scott. Sound good as always. Who else we got south? Anybody east? East of Mount Juliet, please come in. Late check-ins, please come down.
WEC, you move faster than I do.
Sometimes. I'll just say that. Sometimes.
Well, it's good to hear everybody, Paul. I've heard everybody so far, which is nice.
Yeah, it is nice. It's my sideband's very good on getting through for lots of reasons, but it doesn't sound as good as FM, but it's the signals get through excellent.
Yeah, there's obviously tweaks you can do to make the sideband stuff sound pretty dang spectacular, but horses for courses, I guess.
Yeah, it's no big thing one way or the other. I mean, if you get on HF, you're not going to be thrilled with all the audio. It's FM is so much nicer, but anyway, and AM's even nicer. But anyway, who else we got? Anybody else? Late check-ins, any place, anywhere on the sideband? Well, very good. No more. Is anybody hearing anybody? All right. Well, let me do the rundown. You got me, Kilo 4 Papa Echo Whiskey, Paul and Juliet, and Whiskey 4 Alpha Whiskey Echo. That's John over in Bellevue, and then Terry, Kilo November 4 Mike Papa Victor down in Murfreesboro, and Jesse in Woodbury. That's Kilo 4 Juliet Bravo Romeo, Scott, Kilo 1 Sierra Papa Delta in Laverne, and Danny, Whiskey Echo 4 Echo, all with great signals, good audio, and it's great to have you all in there. So that's what, 1, 2, 3, that's 6 people, not too bad. We average about 6 or 7, sometimes less, sometimes more, but it's been hanging in there, and more people are getting rigs, so I expect to see more activity there as we move forward. I mean, as we did with, again, we're averaging like 25 on FM, so if we get to 25 on sideband, we're going to be busy on Saturday nights. We'll have to hold a separate net, I think. But anyway, good to have you all in there, and I'm going to sign off. K4P.
Thank you, brother. Good job. Work there. We appreciate it, okay? I didn't hear anybody else in there myself either.
I did too, just now. You had another double in there, Terry, but you didn't know it. I heard Preston in there.
Roger. I was, got me some ice cream, got back too late.
No, you're not too late. You're right in there. You're number 7.
Hey, that's cool, man. I did hear MPV over there on my handheld out there earlier.
Oh, you heard him on the FM side with on your handheld?
Yeah, I heard Terry.
Ah, very good. Terry, you're able to hear Preston now, right?
Oh yeah, I got him good now. I did not hear him on the handheld though. I tried to, but I did not hear him.
All right, you just need to get your ear closer to the speaker.
Yeah, probably so. I might have had the volume too low.
No, he was low to me, believe me. I didn't realize who it was until I heard the call a second time.
Yeah, I copied that, but he sounded good on here, Preston. Yeah, you got to turn your preamp up on 10 to hear me on the handheld. That's probably one of them ridges, you know that big 700 sticks up there high, man. It catches all those little cracks and crevices.
Hey, Preston, did you ever get hold of Bob?
I did not.
Okay, I just wondered. No pressure. I just wonder where he trailed off to.
If I think about it, I'll shoot him a text tomorrow and see if I can't get a hold of that fella.
Well, I can always send him an email. I just don't want to. Again, I don't ever want people to feel pressure to show up. I just miss having them. That's all.
Yeah, I understand why he's check in occasionally, but like I said, I haven't heard him in a long time.
Well, from what my conversations with him, he's got a job that's. I'm not going to say he's not president of the United States, but he's got a pretty tough job. For pressure and time-wise.
Oh yeah, copy that. His wife Sherry there, I think her father passed away too, so they might have been going through a little rough spot.
Oh yeah. It's funny. Same deal with my dad died in 2000, and so that seems like light years ago now. And he was 77. And here I had my mother up till just this past May, and it's really funny. Even though as you grow up and you grow older, you know that they're not going to last forever. But when they finally do go, you go, dang, that's a big event.
Yeah, luckily I still got both of my parents. They're still alive and kicking.
Oh yeah, that's good. Appreciate them while you got them. I mean, I can't say, it was like a comedian said one time, this woman comedian I saw about 15 or 20 years ago. She said she went home during the holidays and visited her parents. After about an hour there, she says, if these weren't my parents, would I be visiting them?
No good.
Well, no, it's just funny because while you love your parents, you don't always, I don't know, because sometimes parents get into things they shouldn't. They tell you to do things. You do understand. I don't work for you anymore.
Yeah, I can relate to that. Better half over here, she kind of. Sometimes she'll do that with our kids, even though they're grown, But I can relate to that.
Well, it's one of those deals that it's hard to change for anybody because you want what's best for your kids, and you think that they're not doing the right thing. You tend to tell
Yeah, but you know what they're saying in their head.
them. Well, you know the old story, man. When I was 18 years old, I thought I knew everything, and my parents were the dumbest people on the planet. And then when I was 25, I didn't realize how much they could learn in 7 years. You know?
Yeah, if I was only smart enough to listen to my parents when I was young, man, I'd have it made right now.
Yeah, I know the drill. But we live and learn, and we tend to learn from our own mistakes. It's a very expensive way to learn, but we do learn.
Yeah, if you got any sense, you'll learn.
Yeah, no, it's you know, what you can't do. At least I think I've done it successfully. I think what you can't do is say you look back and have all these crazy regrets about what you didn't do or what you should have done differently. Because if you do that, you're going to have a sour life when you get older. You know?
Oh yeah, I can't imagine that, man. I've had a good life, really. You know, I made a lot of mistakes myself, but you know, could I change things? I'll probably change a thing or two, maybe. But man, all in all, I've had a really good life. Can't complain a bit about it.
Oh no, I agree. I don't know about yours, but no, I mean I've always had an optimistic attitude, even though I've had ups and downs like anybody else. Uh, you know, the crazy work world and the crazy married world and the crazy kids world, and you have to have an optimistic attitude or you go crazy.
That's for certain. Terry, what kind of life you had going on over there? You like it so far? Oh yeah, everything's okay. You talking about up there today in Woodbury? Yeah, kind of that. Oh yeah, everything went pretty smooth up there. We got his dipole all swung up there and made a contact to Salisbury, Maryland. Well, that's a good deal. I'm glad you got Jesse rolling up there. I know he said he was just going to go up there and hook it up. Glad y'all got it hooked up. He's on the air. Yeah, he's happy about it. I do believe. I believe he's gonna break the bug loose before it's over.
I'm gonna bug out of here, guys. We'll catch you later. K4P.
Thanks, Paul. Have a good night, man. Yeah, good night, Paul. Paul, we'll catch you later. It's good talking to you, sir. KN4CCQ.
All righty. Nut, I thought it would be low today, and it said it's a holiday. Yeah. Yeah. 25 people.
Wow. I couldn't remember your computer.
Oh, that's a different one on that. I don't want to ever know. That's, you remember these numbers? It's 14, 61, 48. You know what that number is? That was my service number. Not that anybody, I should probably use it on everything. Nobody would know that. Well, the only thing it's missing is my original service number is B 14 61 48. And they stopped using those in 1970, and then they started just using the Social Security number. And then they made the mistake. That was a mistake to me because then they can't ever publish that. I got my certificates and then my final documents that have my Social Security number, which is like, why were we supposed to do that? She just tried to make it easy to consolidate the numbers. So, what's going on the tube? That's that one about that guy putting that tube in his arm, man. That's like the wackiest thing I think I've ever heard.
That was
Talking about a guy bent on avoiding the issue that he was going to jail for. How much jail did he get? He only got 6 years.
No, we got more than that.
You got what?
I think he got more than that. No, that was wild, man. Get out of there.
I just can't imagine somebody. I can't imagine the nurse going, "Hey, yeah, that feels normal, sticking that needle in that tube." You know, that latex tube, because that's what they have to be, latex. I just can't imagine. It's freaky. I don't know what happened. I didn't get the.
Well, it looked like it was a bang. So.
I know that, June, but it wouldn't actually. She even said it didn't have the same pressure to, going into the vacuum tube. You know.
Very strange.
Oh, I agree. Did you get that call from Eva?
No, it was just one ring.
Oh, because it rang while I was on the air, and I reached over and I hit
One ring.
the button, and it stopped it ringing, which it normally does.
Oh.
So I don't know if that stopped the call ringing for everybody, because I hit it on this phone right here.
Yeah, he stopped it.
Well, you'll have to give her a call tomorrow. You ask her, "What are you doing calling me on the Sabbath
Well,
for?"
it's very odd that she would call at 9 o'clock at night.
I agree.
It's her time, 9.
Right.
That's not. She's usually in bed by then.
Right.
Hope everything's all right.
Yeah. Well, make a point to call her in the morning.
I'm glad you had a good nap. That's good.
Well,
That sounded like you had a rough week.